You know that God has a plethora of ways that He speaks to us. He speaks to us through the Word, through worship, through things around us, through people, through your situation. He has many ways of how He speaks to us. But one of the most powerful way God speaks to us is through our dreams. So since creation, if you read creation, read the Bible, study in depth about creation, God has spoken and still continues to speak to a lot of people through their dreams. So I am coming to teach you this lesson about dreams and dream interpretation and meaning of your dreams, and also to activate your faculty that if you have stopped dreaming or you don't pay attention to your dreams, I want to encourage you that it is important for you to pay attention to your dreams, because there is a message in your dream. And God is using your dreams to get your attention. He needs to speak to you. He needs to talk to you. So that is why you need to pay attention to your dream, because it is one of the most powerful way God whispers to us. He whispers to us through our dreams. So let me read Job 33, and we are going to read from verse 14 to verse 18. It says, God may speak in one way or another, yet man does not perceive it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls upon men while slumbering on their beds, then he opens the ears of men and seals their instructions, in order to turn man from his deeds and conceal pride from man. He keeps back his soul from the pit, and his life from perish by the sword. So dreams are not just imagination. I know there's a lot of teaching and a lot of understanding out there that dreams are imagination. But I want to tell you here that dreams are not just imagination. Yeah, there are aspects of dream that is from the soul, meaning when I say from the soul, it means what you have been thinking, fantasizing, and wishing for, your desires, that comes from the soul. But here I'm going to give you more than three dimension of dreams, so you understand that there's a dream from God, there is a dream from your soul, and there's a demonic dream. So you understand the difference, and by the end of this teaching, and you stay to the end, you will be able to understand the difference in these dreams, and you'll be able to understand your dream state, so that you're not going to dwell in confusion anymore in your dream and with your dreams. So dreams are not just wild or just imagination. They are warning before danger, direction before decision, answers to prayers you may have forgotten that you prayed, spiritual warfare alerts, healing, invitation, vision of destiny. That is what dream is all about. So many people don't take that dream seriously, and you miss the message. And that is why when things happen in your life, you begin to question God. But He warned you in your dreams. He warned you with things around you. He showed you in a vision. He took you, for those of you that read the Bible, He showed it to you in the Bible. For those of you that listen to worship song, He did, or songs in general, He spoke to you through songs, or things that you find on social media. He will always speak to you. And then when you go to bed, He shows you things, and you wake up, you forget the dream, and you say, it's just a dream, it's my thoughts. But no, you miss it. You ought to take your dream seriously. You ought to stop ignoring them. Some of you even get to the point that you fear your own dreams. Some even say it was just a dream. No, it's just not a dream. It's God will tell you that men will see vision, men will dream, meaning human beings will dream. You will see visions. And he was speaking. He said he was going to speak to you, and he will continue to speak to you. So you shouldn't just take it just like a dream. God doesn't just give us just anything. He speaks to us. He's very deliberate in the way he communicates with his children. You see, you have missed your dream state. That is why some of you will go out and pay somebody to tell you about yourself when he has told you about yourself in your dream. When he has shown it to you, you go and spend your money on mediums and people that you're not supposed to even spend your money on. And the me that I'm teaching you the real thing, you're not going to give on to me. But you rather go to people that are using different mediums to tell you about yourself when God has already showed you in your dream, and he's been trying to get your attention to get in depth with you, to show you things about yourself. So no, it's just not a dream. You have to pay attention to your dream. You know, the biblical foundation of dream, it spreads through. God speaks through dream. It's factual, it's been documented, and you can read through it. You know, so let's just explore a few of them. I'm going to explore 5 of them so you understand the importance of dream. Joseph the dreamer. You read Genesis 37 from verse 5 to 10. You know, now Joseph had a dream that his brothers and his fathers were going to bow in his presence. Literally, it wasn't literally now. But you see, that dream generated jealousy and hate among his elder siblings. They were interpreting this dream literally, and that is why they went ahead and sold him into slavery. Neither did they know that that dream will still come to pass. You see, the dream that God gave to Joseph was a dream of elevation, that he was going to be elevated, and in turn he will save his family and nations from drought. So the dream wasn't literally, but it was prophetic. It was prophetic. So you dream dreams. You dream dreams. You don't understand that your dreams are prophetic. Your dream is supposed to shape you and guide you into your destiny. Your dream is supposed to change stories, change life, change situation. You know, so that dream wasn't only prophetic, but it also revealed the outcome of what was going to happen. Your dream, just like Joseph's dream, will steer you into your destiny. It will give you direction of where you need to go to. So you have to pay attention to your dream. It is very important. We walk and we get out of alignment with God. And in your dream state, he is showing you that you have to get into alignment, back into alignment with him via your dream. But you trivialize your dream and say it's just a dream. And you've gone for so many years, you've not achieved, you're not living a purpose. You start blaming family members, you start blaming people, looking for people to blame. But you ought to look at yourself, because you didn't follow the directive of God that he gave you in your dream. You just said it's just a dream. And you misinterpreted your dream to mean something else when he meant something else. So you have to understand that dreams mean something completely different than what you already know. Stick around on this teaching. You're going to realize that your dreams, you've been misinterpreting your dream to mean something else. So biblical foundation number 2, example. Joseph, the father of Jesus, Matthew 1-2. When you read the chapter 1-2, Joseph had 4 dreams that saved lives. 4. First, he was told to take Mary as a wife. if he did not take Mary as a wife, Jesus Christ wouldn't have come in the lineage of David, which was already prophesied and dreamt about before Jesus was born. Number 2, he was told in his dream to flee to Egypt to save the Master Jesus. He obeyed. Number 3, he was told not to return to Judea to save his family and save Master Jesus. Number 4, he was told when to return, so God, Master Jesus, can come and finish his work that he was called to do. See, in every state of Joseph, the father of Jesus, he obeyed. He paid so much attention to his dream state. He was so entwined with the voice of God. So he knew when to take those actions. He never doubted. But you see, you will dream and you will not remember your dream. Why? Because you say it's just a dream. But God is speaking to you. God is using different scenarios and different things to speak to you. As we are going deeper into this lesson, you're going to see that he can speak to you by colors, by different type of animal, which mean different type of things, by different scenarios, use different people's images to speak to you. And so that you understand the depth and why you need to really take your dream state seriously and get a dream journal ready. It's because God is getting ready to speak to you through your dreams. So dream will give you a life-saving guidance. It gives you a timing instructions. If you're really in tune with the Spirit of God, the grand creator, when you have a deeper relationship with God and you know how to cleanse your atmosphere when you want to sleep and when you want to go to bed, you will be able to get some instruction in all aspects of your life, your relationship, your business, your career, your ministry, your family relationship, and every other ship. Like I love saying, you're going to get a divine guidance, time instructions on how to move and do things so that you don't make mistakes, because God created us to live our purpose on this earth, and you're supposed to have a good life. You're supposed to prosper. You're supposed to be healthy. That's why he speaks to you in your dreams. A lot of us misinterpret our dreams. Another person is Solomon. When he asks for divine wisdom in the dream, so God appeared to him in the dream and asked him what he wanted. And he said to Father God, give me divine wisdom. And he woke up with wisdom. So encounter in your dream are real and can mark your life. Your dreams, your dream state and communication with Father God can change you and make you become a sensation like Solomon was. And we still study and still read about King Solomon with all the things that he accomplished. I mean, he built the temple of God. And he has so much wisdom. And people, kings, nations used to come to him for wisdom. And he became really known because of his wisdom, because that is what he wanted from God. And God appeared to him in his dream and asked him what he wanted. I pray for you in this season that as you go to bed and as you sleep, you take a nap, that God will come into your dream state and ask you what you want. And God will also give you the spiritual understanding to answer according to what God has programmed in your life and the purpose why he created you, so that when you wake up, you're going to live a purpose. You will hear men and women of God said, God said this to me. I heard the Spirit of God. Most of the time, they are not going to explain it to you that they slept and God told them something in that dream. And they will come and stand in front of that congregation and said, God said this to me. And that is why I'm coming to share this with you. It is a kingdom secret. That's why I'm a kingdom consultant. that God will speak to you in your dream state. If you have not been remembering your dream, it is high time that you pay attention to your dream. And by the end of this lesson, you will remember your dreams, you will understand your dreams, you'll be able to interpret your dreams to know the message in the message, because God sends you a coded message in your dream so that you will uncode it and decode it to understand what He's saying to you. So another person, another figure is Nebuchadnezzar. His dream showed for the kingdoms. So Daniel, a prophet, gave the interpretation. The second dream, he was warned of pride before losing his mind. So that's to show you that dreams are both prophetic and timely directive, so that you don't lose focus. Dreams will also show you the divine discipline. That's what happened with the king. He was told ahead of time. So a lot of you, because you don't pay attention to your dream, or you have a misinterpretation of your dream, you make the mistake. You don't understand that it's both prophetic and is a sign of discipline, that there's some things you need to change in your life so that you live a fulfilled life. See, the lesson is dreams are very important. You have to understand these things. If it wasn't important, God would not have used it. But he instituted the form of communication through dreams, because he knows that when your spirit is at rest, your defenses are gone, you're not more worried about things of the world. That is when your spirit is awake, and he could speak to you through your spirit. And that is why when you go back to watch on my other videos or listen to my teachings, I taught about spiritual alignment. Once your spirit is aligned with God, he will then speak to you through dreams. He will speak to you through other mediums and avenues of communication that God has. So when your spirit is in alignment, when you sleep, you are going to remember your dreams. You're going to hear God. So the problem is, when you don't remember your dream, that means your spirit is not in alignment. Your spirit is somewhere else. Your spirit has gone out of the alignment of what God created you to be and the purpose why he created you. Talk to the greatest of them all. They dream. They see visions. They have the intuition. They have the creative ideas. God is speaking to them. He's revealing things to them and how they become a greater version of themselves, because their spirit is in alignment with why God created them. So you have to come back into the kingdom and align your spirit with the Spirit of God and ask God to guide you so that you can get back into alignment, so that when he speaks to you through your dream, every time you sleep, there is a revelation. Every time you sleep, there is a dream. And you ought to wake up and remember that dream. And as soon as you wake up, you journal it, you write it down, you pay attention to the things that I'm going to break down in this video later. There are different classifications of dream. And then I'm going to give you one after the other. It's pretty self-explanatory, and as I'm going in, I'm going to explain some of them for you, but I'm going to give you a few classification of dreams. Number one, prophetic dreams. It reveals the future or warning events. That's a prophetic. That's why when you listen to people like us that are prophets and seers, we speak of things that is to come. So in your dream state, God is going to show you some future events and is going to warn you of some things that is to come. That is the prophetic dreams. You also have the instructional dreams. God gives you command and direction. Number three, warning dreams, danger, deception, delay. That's when he gives you some warning dreams. Number 4, deliverance dreams. He will show you what needs to be cast out. He shows it to you. He reveals this thing to his prophets. He reveals this thing to his children, and everybody has access to this now. So it's not just about you saying it's just a dream. He speaks to you. These are different dimensions of dreams. You have the healing dream. He reveals the soul wounds or the forgiveness that you need. You have the soul dream. Reflection of your thoughts, fears, and desires. You have the demonic dreams. That's witchcraft, torment, seductiveness, and fear. A lot of you get seduced in your dream. You get to have some dreams that you are having sexual activities in your dreams. You're being tormented in your dreams. There's some witchcraft activity in your dream state. You wake up afraid. There's some fear. You have visitation dreams. An encounter with God, angels, or even demons. You have destiny dreams. It shows your purpose, calling, assignment. You also have false dreams sent to deceive you or bring fear, if not tested. So even at that, you have to test every spirit, you have to test every dream, you have to test everything that is going on. So in your dream state, with all this classification of dream and different dimension of dream, most of the time people are the common element in dreams. At the same time, when you see people in your dream, it's also misinterpreted. We are human beings, we are vessels of honor, we are channels that God speaks to and speaks through. So obviously you're going to have a lot of dream with people, human beings involved. That's why it becomes the bigger element of your dream state. So why do you dream about people? You may dream about a parent, a child, an ex, a best friend, a stranger, a celebrity, a spiritual leader. And guess what? There are different representatives of these individuals in your dreams. What they represent are completely different. One, they may actually represent themselves, literally, the people you see in your dreams. It may be a season of your life. It may also be soul tie, past and present. It may also be a spiritual assignment from God or from your enemy. It may also be a warning, deception, witchcraft, betrayal. That's why you see these people in your dream. It may also be a part of yourself. Example, your childhood vision of you on unhealed past of your soul. In Genesis 35, Joseph had a dream about his father and his brothers bowing down to him. They did. But that also symbolized influence and elevation. It wasn't a literal bowing. You notice that God wanted to elevate him to a place, but there was a reason for the elevation. God saw years ahead of time that there was going to be a famine in the land. So he needed to put somebody that has empathy and can think about other people and other nations. That's why he started preparing Joseph from a very young age. He was going to become so influential. So you have, for instance, you have mother crying. It may symbolize you need to comfort and nurture a part of your life, a part of yourself. You see a father angry. It could point to father wounds or fear of authority. You may see a dead relative talking. It often signals ancestral issues, either unbroken bloodline, covenant, or generational wisdom being revealed to you. But some of us, when you see dead people speak in your dream, you start having issues. You start casting and binding things. You don't understand that there's a message in your dream, that God is trying to show you something. God is trying to teach you something. You may also dream about your ex and your former partner, somebody that you had some intimate relations with. This could also reveal an unbroken soul tie. You still have something. You're still holding on to something. You spoke about something you didn't even remember. It shows that it could reveal that there's some unbroken soul ties. It may be a temptation or a warning not to go backwards. It may symbolize repeating of old habits or cycles, because you are dreaming about somebody in the past. So you have to understand there are different meanings to your dreams. So when you have these dreams, when you feel a dream of seductiveness or emotional, you pray and cut soul ties. It could be the person is trying to harm you or manipulate you in your dream. It is a spiritual warning of manipulation. You have to pray about it. You wake up, you speak to God about it. Sometimes you can dream about a stranger. A stranger can represent an angel. It can represent a new assignment. It can represent your future spouse. It can also represent a spiritual enemy in disguise. That this disguise would be another person, but it's an enemy that is coming to use camouflage of another strange image, is another person's image, to try to harm you and infiltrate your spiritual space. That is why you have to be alert in the spirit, so you understand when you see this angel, new assignment for a future purpose, you understand the meaning of dreaming about a stranger. Pay attention to things. So let me just give you a tip, right? When you see a stranger in your dream, pay attention to the eyes, to the behavior, to the tone of the stranger. This will reveal a lot of things to you. It will. So when you wake up to ask the Holy Spirit about the interpretation of the dream, the Holy Spirit will be able to minister things to you, deep things to you, so you understand what this dream really means. So you can also dream about your pastor, your prophet, your spiritual leader. This could represent a spiritual authority, guidance, or a word from God. You see, God uses individuals to speak to you. God uses human beings to do his work on this earth. He comes into men and he will use them. So if you dream and see a spiritual leader, a pastor, a prophet, somebody that has a spiritual authority, it could be a word from God, it could be guidance, it could be authority. If they come to teach you and correct you, that means God is speaking. They can come to pray for you in your dream. They can lay hands on you. They can do, because he's ministering healing to you. So he's he's going through a spiritual authority to speak to you. If that person comes to harm you or mislead you, it could be a warning about a false covering. That means you're under somebody that you're not supposed to be under. When you see somebody that's supposed to be a spiritual leader, a spiritual covering over you, maybe comes to seduce you in your dream state, comes to harm you, comes to mislead you, that means you're not supposed to be under that person. That is a sign that you got to get out of that space. Because some people will project some evil into your spiritual space. Your dream state also shows people, it reveals to you people's thought towards you, what people are thinking towards you. If you dream about a child, if you are a child, God may be speaking to you about a legacy. protection, or wounds. If it's a child you don't know, it may symbolize a new beginning, ministry, or unformed potentials. You can discern it literally or symbolically. So dreams are really, really in-depth, they're really interesting. It's a medium that you need to understand. God will always speak to you. So you need to understand these things. So ask yourself, does this person represent to me emotionally or spiritually? Ask God in prayer, Lord, is this dream about them or it is something about me? Learn how to record your dreams, feelings, and symbols. You know, there are times you're supposed to act. In your dream, if you dream repeatedly of betrayal, reevaluate your circle, reevaluate your trust circle. Who are those people around you? It's time for you to cut people off. It's time for you to move away from people. Or it's time for you to confront people. If you dream about someone in danger, intercede in prayer. If you dream about past relationship, check for unhealed wounds or demonic doors. An ex represents an old mindset. A sibling might represent a path of you that you feel in competition with. A parent might symbolize God, protection, or authority. So in this lesson that I'm teaching you, this is just part 1. And I want you to digest this. And I'm going to also come with part 2 of this lesson so that you understand the deepness of dream interpretation and the meaning of dreams. And I want to say, God bless you. May God give you the understanding and the wisdom so you understand the dimension of dream and what it means. So I want you to stay tuned. I want you to like this video, subscribe, comment, and I want you to pay attention because next week I'm going to drop part 2 of this teaching so you understand that a different level and dimension to dream interpretation and the meaning behind your dream, because I want you to come in full manifestation as to what God created you for. God bless you and know that I love you.